and Evaluation, which specialize in language assessment in UKM. Let us welcome our most anticipated speaker, Madam Diana Nur Menau.
Thank you, Yancy. Thank you, boys and girls. It's such a great blessing to see all those undergraduates working hard. It reminds me of my younger years. Thank you, yeah. All right. So, firstly, very assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone present here, especially I think the English head panel of IPG is here, and also Madam Azalina, right? Okay, hello, I'm Madam Dina. All right. So I'm going to go straight to our business, yeah? All right. So feel free to actually, if you want to just say something, then feel free, okay? Yeah, it's a free flow discussion, don't worry. So, hello everyone. Could you actually hear me? Please respond to me, or else I'll feel like I'm in zombie land or anything.
Yes,
So, can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
We can hear you clearly.
Yes, madam.
Right. So, if you can hear me, you can actually show your thumbs up, everyone. Yeah, all right. Okay, all right. Firstly, let me see. Yeah, I think this is the problem. Is the okay. All right. I'll start. Yeah. Okay. This is our topic for today. How to carry out classroom assessment in 21st century classroom. Okay. Firstly, before moving on, let me introduce. I'm not gonna talk much because our MC has introduced me so well. I'm just saying I'm Madam D. People in school also call me Madam D. I teach in SK Tambe. And today I'm going to share on classroom assessment based on my experiences, based on the practicality in primary schools, and basically something like my school SK Tambi. Okay, I will not talk much about you can actually go through internet and there are lots of vast classroom assessment strategies and methods that you can practice in 21st century learning. But today, I'm going to share on the assessment which are practical and simple and can be carried out in classes in Samarahan schools, where we have mixed ability students. We have from low proficiency to advanced proficiency. All right. Okay, so feel free to actually, after every slide, if you want to ask me questions, please do so. Don't make me feel like I'm in a zombie land or anything. Or at least show some response, or you can actually type something on the chats. Okay, I'll be glad. Right. Okay. So the outline of the talk will be there are two important variables here: classroom assessment and 21st century classroom. There are two important variables here that you have to know before you venture into the situation. Okay, so we're just looking at the surface, what are the definition and the contextual definition of classroom assessment and 21st century classroom. And then I go to the activities. Inside the activities, I'll insert some tips. How do you deal with classroom assessment when you go practical? That's what I was meant to understand. Yeah, these are some inputs will be useful for you to go to practical. When you go out there, you'll be dealing with a lot of classroom assessment data. Okay, you can make assessment, but the data That when the problem comes in, all right? And then I'll talk about feedback in classroom assessment. All right, firstly, what is classroom assessment? Okay, actually, classroom assessment has been practiced, I think, since 2011, 2012 with different types of names, actually. But the main idea is assessment and it's done in classroom and something all teachers do as part of our responsibility for enhancing student learning. And then we make sure there's we actually trigger a motivation. We motivate them. Okay. Instead of just getting them to learn, we need to have a learning strategies to motivate them to do more, not just stopping there and didn't reflect on what they learn, right? So based on Macmillan 2015, okay, classroom assessment we then done in based on non-indicators of high quality, such as reliability and validity. Okay, so how your instrument can really measure your students' ability, then and also align our assessment with clear and appropriate learning objectives and target. This is one important point here. When we make lesson plans, it must align with our learning objective and targets. Okay, and of course, classroom assessment, the crucial character of it is formative assessment. Summative assessment, we've gone through that one. We also in the era of summative SPM. I think you also SPM with in the era of learning to get straight A's in our SPM. Right? We're learning based on exams, monthly exams, topical exam, ujian percubaan, what is it, gerak gempur. I can actually list all the exams we have, but now is moving, transforming slowly into, yes, we do have exams, okay, but we must make sure. I'm sorry with my video, yeah, I know it's very disturbing. Is it very disturbing? I can off my video and can listen to my voice. Is it very disturbing, everyone? Is it very disturbing, or is it
I
okay?
think I think it's okay.
Just ignore, yeah. All right, then so formative assessment must be carried out. And then what the difference between formative is the meaningful feedback. And then we get students work to provide meaningful summary indication of performance. Of course, student learning and motivation will be enhanced. And of course, when we're in school, we are teachers. We need to document our result. People needs to see what's happening in our classroom. Okay, that is based on Macmillan. And now, contextually, right, operationally in school, what is classroom assessment? Let me okay. It's a continuous process in teaching and learning. You get the feedback on your course development, progress, ability, and performance. Of course, you involve the process of collecting and analyzing information, making continuous reflection on your teaching and learning. Before we go further, the key word most important day is continuous reflection. Okay, reflection. All right. Okay. So I guess I know you're still studying. I think this is soy for you, right? This is easy for you. You know, you can actually list out. Okay, assessment as learning, for learning, and of learning. So today we're not going to talk about summative, as I mentioned before. We're going to talk more to assessment as learning, um, and a little bit of assessment as learning, and more to assessment for learning. Okay, which is classroom assessment is more of these two instead of learning. All right, this is taken from um, Nazar's management, English management handbook. Okay, I think among all the subject, I think only English has this book, alright, to help teachers, headmasters, head panels, how to manage, okay, English subject in school. So one of the focus is, of course, classroom assessment. Then what is 21st century classroom? When we talk about 21st century classroom, um, can you see something? Okay, all right. So what do you think of when you heard of 21st century classroom? Can anyone just shout out?
Student-centered.
All right, yeah. And then anything else? Yeah. That's the mad
Um,
idea. Yes.
Collaboration and communication among
Ah,
students.
good. We're heading there. All right, yeah. Communication, collaboration. All right. Any more? All right. Good. So we're heading the right way. It means, because you mentioned we all learn two skills, and the characteristic is, yes, students centered. Okay. It's not like in those days on chalk and talk. Okay. Right. What is this? Okay. Wait first, yeah. Oops. Sorry, yeah, it's jam. Wait first. Okay. I'm so sorry. All right. Someone mentioned just now communication, collaboration. All right. Yeah, it's good. And another two skills. Okay. When we mention 21st century classroom, we need a classroom to inculcate these 21st century skills. Right? So you must make sure your activity, when you go out there, your activity aims to get your pupils to have these skills: communication, creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration. Okay. I think you know these sensory skills. I will not talk much about it. Okay. But communication is more whether they can convey or accept messages and pass to other people, and um, problem solving, which involve critical thinking, and collaborate means they're not studying it alone. Okay, collaboration is based on Vygotsky um, theory, means students need to do their tasks with um, with people surround them. Okay, so to make them able to do other skills independently. Okay, and this one, the phrases on the right side is a phrase also taken by the English Management Handbook. Okay, you see here, the teacher should create forceful educational opportunities that encourage thinking, individual and shared responsibility, as well as effective teamwork and collaboration among pupils. The very attractive word here is forceful, means you need to create that opportunities. Okay, means you can wait for them. You mean forceful lah, macam memaksa, but not actually memaksa. You create, okay, you create opportunities for them to use the language. All right, it sounds easy, but then sometimes in class you have to accept, okay, you need to face a lot of challenges. So those sensory skills, actually, because we want to build the 21st century people's profile. Okay, all these resilient thinker, communicator, team player, okay, and so on. Okay, all right. So yes, now we'll go to the interesting part. All right. I really be interested. I think you've come through a lot of my activities here, but I just share based on what I did in my school. Yeah. Okay. So you're free to ask, yeah. After every slide, if you wanna have questions, okay, sure. I also have question from Austin though here. but I'll answer it by the end. Austin, or you want me to answer some of it early? I have some questions here. Okay.
We can answer at the end.
At the end, all right? All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay. So I move forward first. I bet you, I think it's like, success criteria. Okay. Sharing of success criteria. But this is very important when you on a classroom assessment. This is the first stone. Okay. You have to share your success criteria to your pupils, right? Some people only share before, some people only share the end. Even me myself, sometimes I forgot to share in the middle, but actually it should be shared before, during, and after. Why? Because we want to get students to know what are they going to learn and what they need to achieve. Remember, success criteria is not for you only in your lesson plan. Okay, it must be shared with your pupils, so that students will know what to achieve. And here you actually the first step to meta connection, okay, thinking, overthinking, and self-assessment. And they give them chance to actually think, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Am I going at the right track? All right, okay. You're getting your students, all right. So when you share the words, I am successful if I can. So you keep on repeating, right? During your practical, you keep on. You'll be surprised at the end of your practical, they get used that sentence and actually helps you. Right. So this the importance of sharing of success criteria. So I think you have done this in your practical before this. Are you going to have your first practical or your final practical? Which level are you now? May I know?
First practicum next semester.
Oh, all the best, boys and girls. Have fun. All right. So, okay. So, since this is your first practical, okay, then I'll share. When you first enter, you print the I am successful if I can. You print it earlier, okay? Or maybe you can just paste. In some school they already passed it. Some of the teachers already pass it in every class. But if they don't, you better paste it there. Use the white, laminate it, and then so that you don't have to write it again. You just come and write what are the success criteria for that day. Okay. And after you finish certain part, for example, you finish first task, okay, during the lesson development, you say, okay, where are we now? So how are you? So, okay, can we do this? And you check not every one of students, but you see some of your students are having problem. Okay, you can check. Okay, so you can ask her some questions to check on the success criteria. Okay, and then after is actually easier than during. During we always forgot, right? Ah, okay. Then this one is exit slips. Exit slips is very practical in your classroom. When you go out there, trust me. All right. What is exit slip? Is actually a, flash of what your student has learned today. How do you want to summarize who are they going on the right way? Okay, so exit slips are very useful. So get students to do a short task before the class ends, or they need to write on the exit slips itself. Then the tips here, and you want to deal with your guru pembimbing as well. Your guru pembimbing will always like stress about her classroom assessment while thinking that you don't. I mean, when practical teachers come and think maybe their classroom assessment is affected, okay, we want to avoid this. So actually you contribute much is when you have your exit slip, you have your own portfolio. If your guru pembimbing don't have a portfolio, you can actually make for them. So your guru pembimbing will be very glad. Okay, so keep, and these exercises are very important and very useful. So you keep the slips in portfolio. Then don't forget to record in your reflection. All right. Have you heard of tahap penguasaan, all those PBD, penguasaan 1 sampai 6? Have you heard of it? Have you
Yes.
heard? Yes? All right. Okay. So when you first go there, you need to ask your guru pembimbing, right? Which level, which students are in level. Because that's the, in school now, that's the in thing now. When you record in your reflection, we have plans, we have remedial instruction. So you need to record in your reflection, but not all, but certain few students. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So I bet you have seen this, right? Have you seen this? Anyone? Have you seen this?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So make sure this is very useful in your classroom assessment. I prefer the last one. I learned, what did I learn today? And then the question I have is, and skill number 2 show. Okay. I usually use that one compared to that one. Right. So you can actually can get all of this in Pinterest. Yeah. Okay. Now. Okay. I think this is the famous part. Have you heard of Think Peshe? Of course you heard of Think Peshe. What do you know about Think Peshe? Anyone? What do you know? What do you know about
The
Think
pair
Peshe?
work.
Hmm?
It's a pair work.
Okay, okay, okay. Oh yes, good. All right. Okay, yeah. This is I think the most practical things to do. But sometimes you need to check whether the question is actually lets them critical thinking or not. But for a start, yeah, you can give simple questions. Okay, ask students a question. Um, get them to think first, and then share with their peers and share to the class. All right. So the tips here, when you go out there, you're going to deal with mixed abilities. You're going to deal with the weak ones, TP 1, tahap penguasaan 1, tahap penguasaan 2. Okay. And then 3, 4 is okay. 5, 6 are the advanced one, were the early finishers. When they finish, it's like, teacher, what should we do now? So then your class will go chaotic and all these things, right? So some tips here is how to help them, which actually differentiated your lesson. Show certain patterns on board to guide them. Okay, so that whenever they don't know what to say, they have the certain patterns on board and they're going to say it, right? And of course, classroom management, when you conduct this activity, of course, you're going to deal with noise, chaos, and your classroom management's like go down the drain, anything. So some tips here: set rules. You need to have, before you start, you need to set the rules with them, or you have some volume control method, or you have some like like, okay, which group is making so much noise, okay, you can make a chart, you can move the volume control. Okay, like me, I always use these stairs and I put a shark down there. So if they keep making noise down, they go down 1 stairs and they go down 1 stairs. All right. So whenever they go down 1 stairs, they will scream, ah! So they will keep quiet. All right. This is how it is. You must set rules and remind them from time to time to keep your class management on track and to keep you sane, okay, during your practical. All right. Okay. Right. Yeah, of course, you start with think about the problem in your head and then get the pair. and share, listen to your partner's ideas and share yours. Okay, sounds easy, but sometimes the passive one, they will avoid to speak. So you need to have rewards for those who speak, for pairs who really discuss. Okay, make sure you prepare a lot of rewards, right? And then this is a form. Okay, so some teachers will not use this form. They will let them talk freely and this thing. But the good thing about when you have form like this, again, you can document it and put it in a portfolio. All right. Sorry, excuse me. So far, any questions? Any questions, anyone? Any questions?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. All right. Okay. All right. After think page, Rally Robin. I think you all heard this because this is a famous Kegans of 21st century. All right. Teacher poses a question to which there are multiple responses in pairs. The students alternate generating oral responses, and then simple example is name objective to describe a character in the story. If you happen to go out there and teach um you teach year 3 and year 4, when you use Get Smart 3 and Get Smart 4, they have the last part, they have a very nice stories, that you actually can practice this, right? When you teach year 3 and year 4. All right. So this is the basic diagram to show how it's gonna be. They will talk and then give options of answers to support. If you don't want to give the advance, you prepare the option of answers and give it to the low proficiency. Okay, you give them so that they have the guidance on what to say. All right, they have support. So it helps on your differentiate. That means you differentiating by support. Again, you need to set rules. Whenever speaking activities, you just need to set rules again and again. You need to show that you stick to your rules. Okay. And then I'm sorry. Okay. Then again, you need to record your observation in your reflection. Here, I forgot to mention, make sure you have your rubrics always with you, the rubrics in the SKP, to keep you online with the CEFR rubrics. All right. Okay. Now, okay. This is interesting. Right. So what do you know about gallery walk? What do you know about gallery walk? Anyone? I think this is easy for you. Gallery walk. What do you know about gallery walk? Anyone?
I think for gallery walk, the pupils, they have to display their work according to their group, and then each group will rotate and see their work.
Yeah. Okay. This is also it helps your kids to inculcate the 21st century skills, okay? Because they need to present, they need to collaborate, they need to ask each other questions and answer. All right. So here, what you can do is, again, you provide support. You can train at first. All right. How are they going to ask and how are they going to answer? Right. And or you can improvise instead of just speaking. Students can also read and respond to other group response, or get them take turns to, you give a task on a paper. So there's different station. Okay, you get them to walk in groups and look for the answers. Okay, you use the materials from the textbook. You just pass it there and get them to walk. Because kids, when they move, they love it. They will feel the response will be very much different if you just sit and let them read. Okay, if they walk, they read, walk, they read, they're enjoying it. Okay. Again, of course, you have to set rules, set time, okay, how much they need to be in every station. Or you can get them to write on their worksheet. Okay. So you can file the response in portfolios. Yeah. Because when you go out there, you need to document all those evidence. So yeah. So you can prepare worksheet for them to write. Okay. All right. Here are some of the example. And the two example side is how I carry out I improvise my gallery walk to a simpler version for reading comprehension. All the tasks is actually the yellow one is from the textbook, and the right side, the read and match who said that one is from the activity book. Okay, try. It's good to see the textbooks are very good. You can use all the materials there, right? You just make a copy and do and let them find the answer. While this one is actually they move by groups, but they record the answer individually. This is the simplest gallery walk you can do. All right, because my class is more to the low proficiency and the intermediate ones. Only a few are the advanced. So that's why I always improvise it, making it simpler. So but at least from this they read and they look for the answer from the text. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. This is fun. Besides gallery walk and all this thing, uh projects. Okay. Projects can clearly show all the 21st century skill. It takes a lot of time, but the the student love it and the outcome is good. Okay. Right. So for example, there's a topic in Get Smart 4, okay, year 4, get them to make survey on housework they need to do. Sorry, the word do missing. And then you need to build a bar chart. Okay. Firstly, when they make survey, you need to always show sentence patterns to guide them in making survey. So they ask one by one, okay, do you need to feed the fish at home? Do you need to wash the car, for example? Okay. Then of course you have to set the rules. No mother tongue. Once you have the mother tongue, you will not punish, but you will on your volume on your chart there you can cut marks or anything for those who use their mother tongue, right? Because once you have go out to certain school, mostly in schools in Smarahan, you will face a lot of this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is it. This is the book Get Smart 4. I like to make projects because because it's cross curricular kind of thing when you insert maths and all this thing. So this is one of the project that we did, but they haven't presented this one, right? So they need to make a survey first in the class. Okay, you have to take out the rubbish. And yes, I do. So they make a bar chart based on the results and they produce it. All right. So you can see the picture. There's a bar chart day, and this Monday they will present it. Okay. They will we will make gallery walk. All right. I love something like this. This is very so when you go out there, don't worry about what projects is in the book. Okay, all the methods there is in the book. So the books are very useful, right? Make use of the textbook. And okay, all right. Now, when you do all this, there will be a peer assessment. Now, this is the fast, so you can assess. Okay, so you get them to assess themselves using thumb sign. You can do this from time to time in your class. Why? Because those who show the middle, the yellow and the red, okay, you will help them, give them support. That's where your differentiation came in, because you'll support them, okay, and you will have the low proficiency. Okay? If you happen to be in school with the plan program, yeah, you need to mention what do you do with the remedial students. I bet your guru maybe also request you to write on it. Okay, plan, right? There's a, yeah, it's something like Linux, but it's being improvised, right? So this is very useful. I love to do this. Okay, so right, so you can show, so who's getting there, you can show your thumbs, put on your thumbs, and the kids will love it, and they show their thumbs. And some are confident to show their thumb, but actually they don't know anything. Okay, there are some few like that. Okay, so you need to deal with this. So say I almost there, some with this. Okay, and some will show this. Right, the tips here, go to the very low one first and ask the green one to help the middle one. So here you already peer coaching. So your class already collaborating. You already insert the 21st century when the good ones teach the middle ones. Okay, you appoint a few to be a small teacher. You call them small teacher. They'll be very glad and very happy. Right, this is fun. You can practice this from day one, right, and they love it. All right, any questions so far? Any questions? Hello, so that I'll any questions?
No.
They have prepared
No.
a list of
Ah,
questions, I remember.
all right, okay, okay, all right. These are the traffic light which I have. Okay, that's my traffic light. Bear with my whiteboard because it's had been used, so just okay, this is one of also the tips when you have group work. You prepare. You see there's the bag there. You put everything there in one bag. The traffic lights, the marker, the whiteboard, okay, so they can use it as a group. So whenever you ask question, they can show the whiteboard, okay. For example, you want a simple answers first, okay, while conducting you can get them to write on it and show every group to show. So as a start, you should have that bag, okay. I encourage you to have that bag, put the traffic light in it, and the traffic light have all the sentences so that they will not only rely on the color. Get them to always say, I can teach others, right? I've got it, right? Get them to show it. Okay, this is self-assessment. It looks simple, but it teach them, okay, to assess themselves. All right, so we've done of activities. Now we're giving feedbacks. Okay, giving feedbacks is very important. Of course, giving feedback, you need to motivate them. So you cannot give feedback based just only grades, and just a simple good or marks 4/4. Okay, and you just give it back and nothing happened. So that's where feedback comes in. Feedbacks will leads to motivation. So your feedback must have some characteristic which nurture motivation. Okay, right. So a good feedback is must a feed forward feedback. Must tell them where they are and what can they do to move next. Okay, so tell them what they did well and what they need to work on next time. And here is when you connect to your success criteria. All right, you go back always to success criteria because you show, okay, you feel you achieved this one, so what you should do, okay, but you should improve on this. So there are certain I'm only sharing the tips of some strategies on feedback, right? One of it is 2 stars and 1 wish. Tell them 2 things they did well and 1 thing they need to work on time. It's not necessary to give the sleeps, but it's good to give them sleep so that they feel appreciated. But then, yeah, you just tell them, you say, oh, I love what you're doing. This is good. But make sure it's based on your target. Okay, yeah, right. Say this is good. I like the way how you write this. Okay, I agree with you. For example, oh, you answered this correctly. However, you should do and something. Okay, for example, you tell them 1 thing which they need to work on next time. All right, so 2 stars and make sure you start with the 2 stars. Okay, you don't just tell them what they did wrong and tell them what they did right first. Okay, and what they can do to make it better. Okay, this feedback. This is for writing. All right, the feedback slips. Okay, tell them what they did well. The same thing. And sorry, it should be things and things they need to work on. The same thing, but you use different colors and see. I love that. Okay, you use capital and full stop in all the right places. And next time, remember to so you need to remind them what they can improvise, right? What they can improve. Sorry. Okay. All right. Besides 2 stars and 1 wish, we have glow and grow. I've been using 2 stars and 1 wish. This is also I learned something new. Okay, this is see you can see all those sentence. Okay, glow, right? Yeah, I like how you the things that did well. Okay, and then I think the best thing about your work is this helps you as teacher to say the phrases. This is wonderful work because right you here are all the sentence that you can use. This is glow and grow. All right, the special tips. Okay, so I think that's it. Am I going too fast? Oh, no, 2 minutes. 1 hour. All right. So, okay. All right. Now, I'm going to answer some questions here. All right. All right. The first one. What are the benefits for both the teacher and pupils when carrying out classroom-based assessment? Okay. For teacher, you can reflect and then you know which students you can which are ones still needs remedial activities and which one needs enrichment, or you think that you can change your strategies. Okay, you can move to your next lesson plan, but make sure you focus um on the remedial ones. Okay, so they will not be left out. And also classroom-based aspect for teachers, yeah, to improve your lesson. But for pupils, they are responsible for their own learning. Okay, you bring them to actually involve in their own learning. They know where are they, and you guide them to identify what they can do to make the to be better. All right. So that's why classroom based assessment are very important. Okay, you must do classroom based assessment so that you can motivate your students. You can um you can help the remedial ones, and you can also get the enrichment one to do better. Keep on motivating instead of just giving grades they don't know what to do. And also it benefits you as a teacher. All right, you can change your strategies. You can you you can find other or you can also change your assessment method. Maybe some assessment is not suitable for the student. Okay, maybe some of the passive, right? So you can change your assessment method. All right. Then number 2, should teachers give feedback to the pupils when they're doing their classroom assessment? Oh, yes. Feedback is the most important thing. If it is not feedback, then it's not formative assessment. That's the difference of formative and summative. Even tests can be formative. It, it will be formative if after the test, you give them feedback. Okay, instead of just grade, okay, Ali number 1, Abu number 2, and number 3. Okay, no. But instead you use the test itself. Okay, from the test, okay, from this test you get all the results. For example, tahap 1, tahap 2, tahap 3, tahap 4. Okay, so I'm going to build a mini model. Okay, you want to check which part they're very weak. So I'm going to build a mini model for them, right? And then so that sorry, giving feedback, yeah, yes, you must give feedback to the pupils right on time. That's why the important thing is success criteria. Okay, you can give feedback from time to time um so that the weakness or the problem will not last until at the very end of the day. Okay, and these kids have problem, you identify it fast, you give her support on the next lesson, not until at the very end of the topic, then you give the end exam, then she felt, you don't know. Classroom assessment, when in the middle of it, you already tackle the problem. That's why you need to give feedback to your pupils to get them to do better. Tell them, okay, what you can do to improve, right? Okay, number 3. Okay, all right. How often and when should teachers carry out classroom-based assessment? Okay, I like this question. Yeah, all right. How often is actually every time, every lesson. It's just that don't be scared. Semua 40 sekali pula classroom-based assessment. Okay, of course not. Okay, you have to do it every day. But the tips here is, okay, you did, for example, today you tell yourself, I'm only focusing on the tahap TP3, tahap pengurusan 3 dan 4 for today. Okay, so that you will write in your reflection. For example, Ame and Awang is in the tahap 3 and tahap 4. So you write about Ame and Awang for that day. All right. It doesn't it's not necessary for you to actually observe everyone. Okay. But to do classroom based assessment, it needs to in every lesson. Right? In every lesson. When? Okay, I like this one. When during the class, during your instructional practices, it should not be done in isolation. Okay, it must integrate in your teaching and learning. That's the key thing. This question sounds simple, but if we still go back and do it isolatedly, okay, you then it will not be classroom based assessment. You need to do it during your teaching and learning. All right. And then um what are the challenges teachers might face while applying the classroom based assessment in the classroom, and how should we overcome them? All right. Yeah, you should. Okay, this is good. You need to prepare earlier. Yes. Okay, first challenges I'll tell you. Mixed abilities. This is gonna be a very, yeah, it sounds easy, but when you come to the class, when you face this is the time you actually you go, because by the end the early finishers will start to disturb others, and the slow ones still doing their work. Okay, so how do you, like I said just now, differentiation. Okay, maybe some give support or give more time, and have early finishers tasks. Be prepared to make early finishers tasks. So this one is to make you sane. Yeah, so these kids has finished, okay, you have early finishes tasks for them. All right, that's some of the tips. That is one of the challenges, your mix, yeah, the mixed abilities. The next challenges is I think this challenge, I think everyone will face this, mother tongue. Okay, and you will hear them speaking their other language besides English. Like I said, set rules, but not only stick to the rules. Okay, set rules like okay, who speak this one. You just stand there, time out. Okay, you cannot do that, but give something. Okay, you give them best in group so that their friends will help them, right? If one of you speak uh, bahasa Sarawak, I will cut much for this group. Okay, for example. And don't forget to reward them if they do well, right? Jangan kejam jadi dictator. You hukum saja, then you don't give rewards, okay? Bermurah hati lah, give rewards to them. All right, that's how we come. Other challenges. Okay, next one. This one. Your reporting. That's how you handle it in your reflection. Wherever is your reflection is the most important thing. Or in your lesson plan, you have the notes part at the side. Make sure you always write something there so that you will not forget. Because sometimes you observe everyone that day. On that time, at that time you remember, okay, all right, right. Arena can do this. Arena can okay, no cannot do this. At that time you remember. But when you go out the class, you go to another class, then everything is out of your mind. So that's why mm, be close to your lesson plan and your rubrics and your checklist. So make sure you always jot something. It's like a journal, but journal is too sorry, too ambitious. But then yes, you can do it. Right, you can do it. Always jot down what is happening in the class. Right. Okay, you must explore the sentences like okay, Amar didn't respond to me today. Okay, but he cannot answer the harder question. But when I get them to sing, explore this in okay, do this in your reflection. Trust me, when you go out there, if you keep on practicing this, you love it, right? And then is classroom based assessment better than previous style of assessing people's examination? Personally, I think yes. Yeah, yes. Okay, because it's more of performance based. Okay, but you will deal a lot of vast data, messy data. The assessment is very good. Okay, you don't rely on tests, but yes, you will deal with a lot of data. Okay. Yes, in terms of what? Yeah, because you can identify what are the weakness at the early stage. So you can do intervention to help them to do better. So you need to give feedback. All right. Do tasks, give feedback. Do tasks, give feedback. Okay. Not until it's worse, until the year end exam, then you give them feedback. It it's useless. All right. That's the cool thing about classroom based assessment, right? And one thing about classroom based assessment means the kids gets to how they gets to challenge each other to do better. When they see the success criteria, they see that okay, for example, you see I'm successful if I can say at least three two greetings for today, so good morning or good night. So if that student can only say one, you can see that it's not like test they feel about the grade they fail, and no, they know that in another class they can do better. So it's like motivating. Classroom based assessment is, if it's done correctly, is very motivating. All right. While examination is just, of course, grades. Compare you A and B, C and D. Okay. Right. But then don't misinterpret that cannot use test. You need to still use test. You need to see where the level. But don't use test as a whole as the only instrument. Use many types of instrument. Yeah, that's also another cool thing about classroom based assessment. You use a different type of assessment, a different type of instrument. Okay, not only just examination. All right. So what is the purpose of classroom based assessment? How will the result be used and by whom? Okay, yeah, purpose, like I said, purpose of classroom is when you collecting data about your students, about their level, you analyze it, and you think of the way to make to get them to do better to achieve the learning objective. Okay, and you also give feedback to them to motivate them and to make them responsible of their own learning. Okay, and like we said in the first, it's student centered. They in charge of their own learning. Okay, it's not only the teacher bekerja keras di depan. No, okay, the students themselves know which level they are. Okay, they know like, oh, I cannot do this today. It's like, oh, tomorrow. So they will ask their friend. You can see instant results. Like they cannot say it. They will go to their friends and they ask their friends, even though in some language like how to do this, macam ni sebut tu and then they practice say it, ta-da, you see they improve. It means they learn from their friends. Okay, that's why it's the purpose of classroom based assessment, right? Instead of just tests, yeah, just paper and pencil. How will the result be used? Yeah, the result be used to improve your next lesson, and for students, to motivate them. All right. The results, how will the result be used? um like now, okay, I'll talk this in a video version. When they use the result for PBD, you need to record the big one. They just classify, and you need to, okay, and you need to tell, you need to prepare intervention. Okay, so that to improve the learning, right? How will the result be used and by whom? Yeah, good. By whom? Yes, of course. When we do examination, it's only for teachers. But when we have classroom-based assessment, the result, the data can be used by the teachers and can be used by the student themselves. All right. Maybe parents are quite they still have less information about this, but sooner or later, parents will get used to the result. Yeah. 7. How can students use the classroom-based assessment as a learning tool and teacher use it as a support for learning? How can students use classroom-based assessment as a learning tool. All right, here. Okay. Here we don't say it's as a learning tool. We use learning tool in classroom-based assessment. Okay. The classroom-based assessment itself is not a tool. In conducting classroom-based assessment, you need to have a number of tools, a number of instruments, a number of activities. For example, just now you do think pay share. What tools do you have there? You have checklist. You observe them, and based on observation, what you do with your observation? Okay, you write your observation, and the observation, sadly, you cannot report the observation. You still need to read. You still need to move it into figures. Tahap 1, tahap 2, tahap 3, 4, dan sampai tahap 6. So that's when you use rubric. So rubric is one of the effective tool in classroom-based assessment. Okay, and teachers use it as a support for learning. Yes. So when teacher conduct classroom-based assessment, because of its nature is formative. When you do formative, you need feedback, ongoing, collecting data ongoing, doesn't stop there. Then it's improve and encourage learning. All right. Okay. This is the last one. 8. What role will students play in the design of assessment process? Oh, I like this question. It makes me think too. Yeah. Role. Okay, role should be the students play the main role because it's student centered. Okay. The students want to play the most role. That's why teachers, you need to remind yourself also. The main role is not you. The main role are the students. They need to involve in their learning process, in the assessment. Okay, means when they do something, what they achieve, they know where they are. So you teachers' role are to guide them, to guide them to um to guide them to move from where they are. All right, to tell them what they can do to be better. So what role? Students play the main role in the design of assessment or assessment process. Teachers are only what to say, coordinator, like supervise the class, okay, motivator, coordinate the activity. Students should be the main role. Right. I think that's it. Is it the final question? Is that the final question?
I think let
Right?
us ask other people in
Yeah.
the
Okay,
ano,
sure.
in the
Okay, let me stop.
in the meeting room. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So thank you, Madam Diana, for all the answers for the 8 questions that we have collected from
All right.
the viewers today. And I have a saying, Ruby D, not Madam D. Ruby D once said that the greatest gift is not afraid to ask questions. So if there are other more questions, you might ask to Madam Diana. You can like type in the chat, or maybe you can raise your hand and
Yeah.
activate your mic. Okay.
Yeah.
Let us wait for maybe someone want to type. And before that, I have a question for you,
Yes.
Madam Diana.
Yeah.
Um, what is the most effective or maybe the most convenient classroom-based assessment that you would prefer, that you usually use in your classroom?
Yeah. Okay. Listen, okay. I usually do during traffic lights. Okay. I like to use the traffic light because from time to time they show which level they are. And during the lesson development is I use traffic light. The first pre-lesson, I get them, I'll share success criteria that is very important, and in the middle, from time to time check their learning, using get them to respond using traffic lights or some signs. And I like to use at the end. I like to use exit slips. Okay, because I'm the very forgetful person. By the time I go to another class, I forgot what happened in the previous class. So it's quite messy. I have a tons of papers with me, but then I put it in a file, right? To got track, okay, what's happening to each students, right? And after every unit, I like to do projects. I told you the projects. When you go practical, please try to do the project. Your kids will love it. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, madam.
All right.
Other members of the room, you have any questions you can ask.
Hello. Yeah, you can really ask me. Yeah. Anyone?
Yeah, I think they have asked quite a number,
Yeah, yeah.
which is rather exceptional
Mm.
so far.
All right. All right. Yeah,
Uh,
Madam
they,
Zina. I
they,
think so too.
yeah,
The
they
question.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. They seem interested in this topic. In fact,
Yeah.
they are the ones who have come up with this topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good to hear
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Um, all
Yeah.
right.
I think you have also shared something really relevant and contextual, in which hopefully they'll be able to see what is expected of them lah, as they go out
Yeah.
there later for their practicum.
Yeah,
Yes.
during the practical. Yeah. All
Okay.
right.
If there is none, all right, everyone. Yeah, maybe the moderator can wrap up the session. And
Okay,
great thank you to Madam Diana.
All right.
okay. Okay, that brings us to the end of the Q&A session. Okay, Bell can continue.
Okay,
Yeah, your
so
photo,
ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the
photo
end of
session.
our talk show. I am sure that everyone has gained something from the talk, and we hope that you have been inspired by our speaker today as a competent teacher in the future.
Once again, thank you everyone for participating in our talk show. We truly appreciate it. And our sincere appreciation and gratitude for our speaker today, Madam Diana, for your willingness to share your experience with us, experience and also the sharing lah. And then on the behalf of the organizing committee for this talk show, we would like to apologize for any flaws that have happened throughout the talk show. So before we really end this evening's talk show, let's switch on our camera and take a picture with Madam Diana. Oops. Maybe Zen, you can take the picture.
Okay, everyone. Uh, I'll count down from three. Okay, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Okay, one, one more time. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay. With the photo session done, the MC team would like to end this talk with wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So have a good day, take care and stay safe and goodbye everyone.
Thank you, Madam Diana.
Thank you,
Thank you,
madam.
Madam.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
Yeah, I've
Thank you,
just emailed all
madam.
your letters. Huh?
All right. Thank you, madam. Thank you. All right.
Right.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.